Hello everyone, Chris Ercoli here for HS Game Time. Week 0 of the prep football season is on the horizon, so you know what that means. It's the return of the HS Game Time Pick'em Show. I'm joined by my sports aficionado colleague, the prep dog, John Murphy. John, I know you're excited about the A.B. Miller Lakeside game on Thursday night, but that's not in one of our top 5 that we're going to talk about today. We begin with Citrus Hill and Poly.
Yeah, Citrus Hill and Poly, you know, Citrus Hill has been a power in recent seasons, and they've got Trevor Hodge back at quarterback, fantastic athlete, along with Steven Van Hook, who's getting a lot of attention from colleges. Poly moves to the Inland Valley League this year, and so they've got raised expectations, but they've got to go on the road to Citrus Hill, and I think it's just a little too much to bite off. Citrus
Hill, definitely. Hodge, the quarterback's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders with Davian Payne, the running back, now moved on to the Division I level. Moving on from there, we go Rancho Verde in Elsinore. Of course, Rancho Verde, the defending Central CIF champs. John, do they have the ability to get hot from the start?
Yeah, I really think they do. I mean, Elsinore is a tough matchup, especially in Week 1. They've got some really good athletes in Alan Stubbs, an elusive back, and Tony Wilson in a quarterback. But I mean, Rancho Verde finally made that breakthrough to winning a section title. They've had great athletes and a great program all along. Last year they put it all together, and there's no reason to think that that will halt this season, especially with the likes of DeMaurier Stringfellow and Sharon Perez. Check that, Jones, who checks in at quarterback.
98% taking Rancho Verde, so they do not appear to be sneaking up on anybody. Next game, Heritage and San Jacinto. We have 91% taking Heritage. Of course, they were the runners-up last year in their CIF game.
Yeah, it's hard not to like Heritage in this game. I mean, San Jacinto under Bill Powell has traditionally been a strong program, and they'll be good again this year. But let's face it, last year they went into the season with, I think, 8 guys who were third-year varsity players, and they don't have that this year. They do have a couple of good players to look to, but I think that Heritage with Nick Avney, he's a third-year all-leaguer, and Darius Allensworth, who's headed for Cal, has to get the nod over them.
Redlands and Rancho Cucamonga, our next game. Prep Dog, I know anything that involves the Terriers you hold close to your heart, but can you go with a team that had a coach that said you look like a bum on a bike?
I think his exact words from Jim Walker were a hobo on a 10-speed as I rode by his practice one early morning. Thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
The Terriers, you know, they are just loaded with Division I talent, especially in the skill positions. Most noteworthy is Craig Lee, the running back who recently committed to UCLA. But there's also the coach's son, Jimmy Walker, at quarterback. You know, they have the likes of Jared Lael, who, you know, is going to a service academy and just is a really tough kid. But in Rancho Cucamonga, you're looking at a couple of D1 defensive backs, you know, Tahan Goodman and Chris Hawkins. They can help stifle that Redlands aerial attack. I think Redlands will have to keep it on the ground. They're certainly capable on the ground with Lee and Daryl Miller, but Cucamonga showed last year against Rev that they can win a close game, and I think that they're going to do it again.
81% taking Rancho Cucamonga at the moment, so they are the favorites. Then our last game, last but not least, we have Ramona and Rubidoux. P-Dog, you know Rubidoux has a deadly backfield.
Yeah, you know, they have 2 guys who went over 1,000 yards last year in Daniel Young and Deontay Washington. That's going to be pretty tough to contend with for a Ramona team that's kind of like still building and has lost their quarterback, Trent Miller, to graduation.
51% taking Rubidoux right now, so it's a bit of a coin flip. We'll see. We've got about 50 people signed up for the HS Game Time You Pick'em game. Log on to our site at hsgametime.pe.com. You can sign up. You got to sign up before Thursday, 5 p.m. That's when the final pick is for this week, or else you'll skip a week. But if you want to be eligible for the overall top prize, which I'm told by sports editor Dave Zink is going to definitely be one heck of a prize, P-Dog signed up solely for that reason alone. You're going to have to log on to hsgametime.pe.com. Thanks for joining us. That wraps up the Week 0 Pick'em show. We'll see you out there on Friday.